had a gaggle of reporters at the Combine in front of him, and he told Tim McManus from ESPN that there's interest between A.J. Brown and the team to continue the career of Philly for A.J. Brown, but neither he nor general manager Howie Roseman committed to suiting up Brown for the team next season. Look at this. Speaking of the Combine, this is what he had. Yeah, my expectation is he wants to be here, right? And obviously you want good players like that in your building. Will A.J. be here next season? I think we're still in a spot. Like, I can't guarantee how anything is going to go play out next season. I'm thinking I'm going to be the coach next season, but you can't guarantee anything past tomorrow. Sometimes it's the things you don't say that are most intriguing. We've got Jason McCourty here, Dominique Foxworth on the screen. Nick, we're going to start with you. That reaction from Sirianni, he could have taken it a lot of ways. Yeah. What was your take from that quote that we got yesterday at the Combine?
Right, it feels like there's definitely something there. Like, we've been dissecting this team for the past 2 years, and one thing that's always been constant, even when they've had success, is that A.J. Brown has had an interesting relationship with this team. And it's not because they don't want to get him the ball and they don't want to target him. Like, he got targeted plenty of times last year and the year before that when they won the Super Bowl. But the numbers weren't there, and it always seemed like a little bit of discomfort in that relationship. So I think when you know that you're going to have a guy, no one's even asking the question. And when the question's asked, you roll your eyes and say, obviously, he's going to be back. The fact that the response was what the response that we got makes me believe that it's probably getting close to the end. If they can find a suitable place to send A.J. Brown, it seems like they probably would be open to making that move.
All right, let me just set the stage here. So basically at the Combine, you've got every coach, you've got every GM. They're walking around. And in this case, all the Philly reporters got Nick Sirianni. He's speaking right there. It wasn't a polished podium situation. Yeah. But he could have taken this a lot of different ways when they brought up A.J. Brown. Your reaction, Jason?
The one thing Nick said, A.J. Brown is under contract for this upcoming season. So Sirianni could have simply just said, hey, A.J. Brown's under contract. I expect for him to be a Philadelphia Eagle. You don't know what the future is going to hold. But he didn't say that. I will also add that he said, we want A.J. I like A.J. Brown. I want him here. I believe A.J. Brown wants to be here. He said those words. So I don't want to look at this and dismiss the fact that there is still a lot of love between A.J. Brown and the Philadelphia Eagles. But when you go on to talk about the future of the team, you say, I expect to be the head coach. Sirianni's going to be the head coach this season. There's an opportunity for teams to look at this and say, you know what? Let's make our best offer to get A.J. Brown in our building, because to me, that just signaled, hey, we're open for business if the right offer comes across.
I'm going to double back with you. 17 different people interviewed for that offensive coordinator job. Yeah. 7 of them had second interviews, and they chose Sean Mannion, a 32-year-old quarterbacks coach who has never called a play. Would you at least give that a shot before you start talking about putting A.J. Brown on the block?
I would. That would be my thought process. You look at this Eagles team, they're loaded. They still have a ton of talent on the offensive side of the ball, from Saquon Barkley to Devontae Smith. Having A.J. Brown there is still one of the best wide receivers in the NFL, only helps them move forward as an offense. And I think, to your point, the new beginnings. Let him develop a relationship with Sean Mannion and see where they can take this offense.
Nick, let's open it up a little bit. Let's say, for example, and we don't have proof of this yet, that they were to put A.J. Brown on the block. Yeah. Which team do you think would be most hungry and most thirsty to get him into the building?
Yeah, it's all of them, but I think the obvious names that come up is teams that are close and could use a weapon right away, and that's immediately the Bills, and I think the Patriots come up too. A team that needs their true number one, that already has a quarterback in place that can get him the ball, that's looking to get over the hump. So A.J. Brown would be perfect for any of those teams that feel like they're right on the doorstep but need a little punch offensively to get it done.
What about you?
Absolutely. I'll go on the other conference, and I'll look at a team like Green Bay, a team like the 49ers, teams that they have weapons, they have guys out there. But if you place a guy like A.J. Brown on one side of the field, it dictates defenses. And now they have to figure out, are we doubling him? Are we putting a guy over the top? Those type of situations help a quarterback and allows him to really go out there and flourish.
All right, for some context at home, at the Combine, most coaches and GMs speak at the podium in a more formal environment. That will happen today for both Howie Roseman and Nick Sirianni, so don't worry. We will get plenty more on this. But A.J. Brown's name, it wasn't a quick out-of-hand dismissal by Nick Sirianni. He did have some things to say, and that does open the door for conversation.
Never really stops, and neither.
Right back with you on SportsCenter. Tyreek Hill, who began his NFL career with the Chiefs, became an unrestricted free agent for the first time in 10 years last Monday when the Dolphins released him as a part of a series of moves to create salary cap space. Does this mean a Chiefs reunion is on the way. If Chris Jones has anything to say about it, it will be. He tweeted this Monday, Cheetah, it's clock, which I think the kids would translate as it's time, is what Chris Jones says. Let's see what Nate Taylor says, our Chiefs reporter. And Nate, what would a reunion, why would that be so beneficial to Hill to go back to the Chiefs?
Yeah, Matt, it's partly because Tyreek Hill had so much success in Kansas City before he was traded to the Miami Dolphins in 2022. Now, for Chris Jones, he's had a lot of predictions this offseason. One, that Tyreek Hill would come back to the Chiefs, and also he wants Travis Kelce to return for year 14. But for Tyreek Hill specifically, he needs to go somewhere that's familiar and who has a star quarterback. Now, yes, Patrick Mahomes is coming off the ACL and LCL surgery, but he has had great success with Patrick Mahomes in the past. We know Andy Reid is a coach that is known for redemptions, for second chances. They did that 2 years ago with Kareem Hunt after he was removed from the team in 2018. So if Tyreek Hill wants to reestablish himself in the NFL and be, again, a deep threat for a Chiefs team that desperately needs a receiver to go downfield and make big catches, that is why the partnership works so well, in theory, for both Tyreek Hill and the Chiefs.
Yeah, so what about the impact he could have on Patrick Mahomes?
For Mahomes, familiarity is also a big key going into a season throughout his most extensive injury. We all expect that Travis Kelce will be back, but of course, the Chiefs have a lot of questions at the wide receiver position outside of Xavier Worthy and Rashee Rice, who's obviously going on with allegations pertaining to domestic assault, and he could be possibly suspended again under the personal conduct policy in the NFL. For Tyreek Hill, the Chiefs have never been able to throw the ball deeply as well as they did in Mahomes' tenure with Tyreek Hill lining up and taking the top off the defense. So Tyreek Hill, as we all know, has a lot of speed, and even if he comes back from his own ACL surgery, he thinks he's still got plenty of time to play, plenty of talent to show. That's what he put us on Instagram a few days ago when he was released by the Miami Dolphins. And so for Mahomes, if you have the security blanket of Travis Kelce, it'd be awfully nice to have a deep shot to go with it in Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, while being patient with both players' injuries and maybe running it back one more time to see how much more of this championship window the Chiefs have. Nate Taylor, our Chiefs reporter.